right, Shane. Now, Killer is Dead, a game that, like every Suda51 game, divides the gaming community.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's either you understand the Japanese style or you just hate everything that everyone does.
And I would argue even those who find like, oh, Japanese stuff's so quirky and cool may not get this. And that's the hard part of this game. It's a Suda51 game by the book. Yeah, so it's you do basic kind of arcade action fighting, sword fighting, blah 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 blah, usual stuff. So if you played No More Heroes, you've played Lollipop Chainsaw, similar, except I'd say it's probably
a lot more refined.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of technicality to the combos, a lot of everything there. If you're willing to try that hard, if you're willing to play it on hard, which let's not go into that. But I think at its core, it is a Suda51 game. It's got this base game surrounded by this larger, like stylistic Suda51. I don't know how to describe it. It's a certain qualities that he brings to a game.
Well, talking about the stylistic, it is very contrast high game.
Yeah.
If you want to see this like it's supposed to be, a monitor is very
Yeah,
suggested.
I have to. We played it on a plasma. I think it's a plasma, and it's an older TV. So the black to grey ratio, it looks blue. It really does. And if you played it on a monitor, or God forbid a CRT, it would effectively solve all these problems because they've got better contrast and better darkness. That said, I love the style. It's part film noir, part James Bond.
I could see where maybe some people would not like it, but personally myself, I really love it.
He makes the Unreal Engine look good without making it giant army men with big brown necks.
Yes.
Pretty much. So the style itself is James Bond.
Yeah.
The whole thing is a parody of James Bond and classic fables. And so he's effectively taken all of these stories that you grew up with as a child and put it into a James Bond movie.
It comes from what? Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland.
There's, what else was
Thomas
it?
the Tank Engine. There's heaps of music references. There's all of these things that are in this game are really like hyper versions of themselves. They're just over the top. They're oversold deliberately as a kind of a shot at them.
Deliberately.
Yeah, as a shot at the person playing. Like everything is him saying, this is an infantile fantasy, you're an idiot. And he doesn't mean that in a mean way. He just means that in a, like there is
Don't
so
take
much.
this seriously.
Yeah, and I think that's the hard part, is you're going to get a lot of people telling you how bad and misogynist this game is. And I disagree. Maybe that's my privilege talking. But I just think if you really dig underneath this, there's a
Well,
gem
it comes
there.
from James Bond style. It's like, okay, James Bond gets with a lot of women and they don't give him weapons or upgrades. But,
he saves the world, blah, 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 blah.
But the thing is, these women give him weapons and upgrades. They're like weapon specialists.
Don't do that. Don't try and justify it like that. Okay. But look, when it's all said and done, if you enjoy Suda51 games, if you enjoy action games, there's a lot here. If you enjoy going on Twitter and yelling at people, I would probably avoid this one.